Habits can be good, but habits can be lazy too when we get stuck in a rut. But if you make new habits that will stimulate your brain, you can have an awesome life, and that's where we're going with this. Be in an environment that is productive, and it's going to lead to productivity. Now also, you want to do stuff that's fun, and we recommend you take up a game of some kind, a brain stimulating game that will activate your neurons and keep you sharp all the time.
Let's talk about supercharging your life by stimulating your brain. I'm here with Mike Mandel, and we're going to talk about building an even more awesome life. How are we going to do that?
Absolutely. Well, you're going to look at different things that can improve your brain function, can improve your thinking abilities, just give you a better life in general. This is stuff we'll throw at you now, and you're going to love it if you apply it. And first of all, it's easy to be a creature of habit, right? We have habits that we do every day, waking up at a certain time, whatever. Habits can be good. They stop us from thinking through things all the time. But habits can be lazy too when we get stuck in a rut.
Oh, for sure we could get stuck in the same old patterns that aren't serving us in a useful way, and they're not stimulating our brain, so they're not making our lives better. They're in fact becoming these time sinks.
Oh, that's interesting.
Useful. Yeah.
But if you make new habits that will stimulate your brain, you can have an awesome life. And that's where we're going with this. And the first one is learn to prioritize. Because people sometimes make large, long, 2-mile long to-do lists.
Yeah.
But if they're not prioritized, there might be, buy batteries for my phone or my watch or something, and the house is on fire. The 15th one is call 911 for the fire department. And that's an extreme example.
Yeah.
But we have to prioritize. We say put 80%, this is Pareto's principle, 80% of your effort into the 20% of stuff that is most important. The other won't matter too much.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like we teach in the Personal Development Academy, which is one of the trainings that we have at Mike Mandel Hypnosis, to figure out where the weakest areas of your life are. If you were to bucket your 5 areas of life, let's say, or whatever number of buckets you want to compartmentalize your life into: career, finance, health, relationships, leisure, things like this. Figure out which ones are the weakest for you and prioritize the ones that you want to fix, the ones that are most important for you to fix.
Right, because that'll have the biggest ripple effect on your life. It's fixing the biggest hole in the boat first. So one thing you can do right away, which will improve your brain function, is do something that is brand new, but not just brand new to you.
Right, like
because your brain
learning backgammon.
Learning backgammon, yeah. Or in my case right now, I've been learning piano for 4 months. Couldn't read music, never played piano in my life. We have an instructor coming to our house. I'm reading music. I'm playing Mozart and Bach and all, but in a very basic way. But it's happening. The brain likes to be stimulated to grow, and it likes novelty. So it must be something completely different that you've never done.
Right. So we could pick anything like learning about wine,
or
you like learning about opera, training jujitsu, learning another language, any kind of new skill that will interest you, anything that'll stimulate your brain. Right? Yeah, cooking.
Now let's talk about the brain itself. This is the thing that Chris understands amazing. I've learned so much from him.
Perhaps.
Eat for your brain's health. Think in terms of your brain. It burns glucose. It's a glucose hog. But if you're putting sugar in your system all the time, it's not the best thing for your health.
Right. It's important to eat for your brain's health. It's important to drop a lot of those junk foods from your diet, those processed sugars, those refined grains, etc. If you simply focus on eating real foods, things that don't have big ingredient lists.
Things your grandparents would have
Things your grandparents would have said, yeah, that's food. Yeah. Things that are naturally high in omega-3 fatty acids, fish, etc. All the normal foods. We don't have to get into any detailed nutrition lessons here. But if you get rid of all those junky, refined carbohydrates, especially the ones that are combined with those wonderful seed oils, donuts, and all these other things, that eat real food instead, you'll be fueling your brain, which will make it much more likely to respond to the kind of stimulation that's going to make your life
better. Because there's an overstimulation. If you're eating things with MSG in them or aspartame, those are excitotoxins. They are neurotoxic. They make your brain vibrate so much that the individual neurons can actually explode. So stay away from that stuff as well. What about walking and breathing and getting your physiology
absolutely.
going?
If you want to stimulate your brain and you want to do some thinking about what's important to you, going for a nice walk and breathing powerfully is going to make a big difference to your life.
Yeah, well, that's in Qigong, it's in yoga. All the martial arts know that changing the breathing will change your state, and that's the value of deep, slow breathing. It will take your stress down, your brain will love it, and a brisk walk for 20 to 30 minutes while you're concentrating on deep breathing can have a powerful sharpening effect on your thoughts and and your general well-being as well.
All right, let's talk about how you can create a brain nourishing environment. So especially if you're studying or if you're learning something new, you want to add what to your environment?
Well, I got this from Michael Gelb years ago. I listened to some of his cassettes, and he talked about a brain nourishing environment. It's great stuff. I never thought of this. He said, be in an environment that is productive and it's going to lead to productivity, like have color in the room, have paintings in the room, have, burn incense, or the sound of water running or whatever, little fountain sounds, plants, music with no words to stimulate your right brain.
That's a big one, music with no words. I love a lot of music with words, obviously, but if I'm doing work and I'm being creative, it's probably better for me not to be singing along to some of my most favorite songs.
That's right. It'll draw you out. So they'll take up space in your brain. What you want to do instead is build that environment, and then whether you're studying or learning something new, you'll be in a situation that your brain will like, and you'll be able to bring in information rapidly. Now, also, you want to do stuff that's fun, and we recommend you take up a game of some kind, a brain-stimulating game that will activate your neurons and keep you sharp all the time. And great examples are some people like crossword puzzles or Sudoku or chess, vocabulary building games, backgammon, anything like this that can engage your brain. I don't mean sitting there and playing Candy Crush and Angry Birds, but something that is going to jumpstart your brain.
Yeah, although I would say even some of those games probably do jumpstart the brain. Anything that isn't mindless activity where you actually do have to think, you're learning something new, you're keeping your brain sharp just the same way that exercise, physical exercise, helps our muscles and our body stay fit, our brain stay fit by doing things that involve thinking rather than just falling into this rut, this pattern of, I just watch the news. I just surf
You can't zone out forever. Yeah. Zoning out sometimes is good, but don't do it all the time. So if you take into account just some of these things, stimulate your brain, start the deep breathing, set up a different environment when you want to learn something new, use some creative methods to get your brain on a new track, and the results will be phenomenal.
Yeah, especially if you start with what you actually want to have happen in your life and then build new habits around those things. So while you're here, you may as well hit that subscribe button, ring the bell on YouTube so you'll always be notified of our newest videos. Check out our website. You've got all kinds of awesome resources, our podcast brain software, our blog posts, our freebies. Everything is there for you, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks again, and good night.